Welcome to Mother's Haven, a podcast where mothers are challenged to try for more through access to help, hope, and a pathway to healing. Every mother goes through various phases and seasons where the daily navigates distress, discomfort, and wholesome experiences. I have personally walked the path of various pain points and experienced certain life changing situations in my own journey, which actually brings me here to offer you a hand to help, a voice of hope, and a pathway to healing. Each time you listen, a rush of liberation comes through because I'm here to validate your freedom and also to challenge you to be a mother and much more.
Welcome to another episode on Mother's Healing Podcast. We have an amazing guest in the house. We'll be going the health wise section today, and we'll be talking about a very interesting topic, the woman and her hormones. And we'll be having a lot of info coming into us. And we have no other but a very delectable and awesome person in the house to lead us through this amazing topic. So the next voice you'll be hearing will be hers, and she'll be telling us a lot about our wonderful self. All right, over to you.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Essay. I'm a pharmacist and the founder of the Savvy Health Place. I basically started this platform in 2017, where I started educating women about their menstrual health, African women to be precise, because I noticed there was a lot of gap in the knowledge. We had so many issues arising like PCOS, infertility, hormonal imbalances, but a lot of people did not know how to connect these dots. And basically that's what the platform is about. We educate women about their menstrual cycle. We teach them practical methods on things they could do and things they should look out for, red flags, and all of that. And thank you very much for having me. So today, the problem, one of the primary things I notice when it comes to our menstrual cycle as women is that we live in with the assumption that everything is normal. That is, every problem that comes across, as long as it's tied to your period, it's normal. You see people dealing with crazy pains, crazy cramps, migraines, so many issues, but as long as it's tied to the period, we have come to normalize it. And this has actually set us up for failure as a generation. I listened to an interview once that the lady was talking about how she grew up with very painful periods, and it was not up until when she was in her late 30s when she got married and was trying for a child. That was when she realized she had endometriosis. But come to think of how many women have actually normalized living with painful periods. Like, it's normal. Oh, my period is so painful. Well, that's how it is in my family. Well, that's how it is. We have normalized these things, and it's really set us up for failure. So I'm going to touch on some of the common things I think women are currently dealing with. When I started my platform, a lot of people did not know what PCOS was. That is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's basically a metabolic disorder that affects your hormones. And what it can do, it can make your period to be absent or irregular. You see people who are not pregnant having an absent period for 90 days. Some don't get to see their period for 3 to 6 months, and then it comes for 1 month, and then it disappears again. And one of the shocking thing I noticed also is that I had young clients who were going through this, but somehow they told themselves like, oh, it's a good thing. After a period is too much stress. I don't get to see it every month. And so they were okay with it until they needed their body to show up for them, until they needed to get pregnant, until they needed to conceive. And then they realized that it was a problem. And then they had to go back to the drawing board. So I tell people, we don't have to wait for it to get to that point. We don't have to wait for things to get so complicated before we take actions. And for us to take actions, we need to see our cycle for what it is. It's meant to run normally. If you cannot identify the abnormal, you cannot drive towards a normal. So women need to know that when there is a problem, when things are not going the way it's supposed to go. I ought to see my period monthly if I'm not in menopause, if I'm not pregnant, or if I'm not on birth control. I ought to have a healthy cycle every month. Now, we're not talking about these other issues that prevent you from having that regular cycle, but if you do not fall in this category and your monthly cycle is not regular or it's not healthy, when I say it's not healthy, it means it comes with a whole lot of baggage. It's probably too heavy. It's probably too short. Maybe you have a very short cycle or a very long cycle. Like you're bleeding for over 7 days. There is nothing normal about that. You have a period that is less than 3 days. There is nothing normal about that. You have to change your sanitary products every 1 hour. Some people have to wear like 2 sanitary products. There is nothing normal about that. Until we are able to identify these things for what they are, women will continue to struggle with avoidable issues like primary or secondary infertility. So we need to take our bodies seriously. Well, for our daughters, our friends, our sisters, when we experience these things, it's simple. You need to go get checked. There are tests, there are scans, there are things that you can actually do to help narrow down what you may be dealing with. For example, we see something like very heavy periods. We have a lot of people who have very heavy periods, and somehow we feel it's okay. And then one of the primary causes of very heavy periods is high body estrogen. Now, when your estrogen levels are high, it often means that your progesterone is low. It's like a check and balance effect. Now, your estrogen could be high because your progesterone was already low, or your progesterone could be low because your estrogen is high, you know? And so when this imbalance is happening and you're normalizing heavy periods, and then you get pregnant, and one of the main effects of low progesterone in a woman is recurring miscarriages. So imagine there was always a connecting link, but you just failed to identify. Your body was speaking, telling you that something is wrong. Your periods were so heavy. You just kept changing the size of your sanitary products. You were going for the super, the supermax. You were adding up tampons to pads. But you failed to just go to the hospital and ask, why is my period heavy? You could be dealing with endometriosis. You could be dealing with fibroids. You could be dealing with ovarian cysts. You could be dealing with some form of polyps. You could be dealing with any issue. So don't just sit down and assume it's normal. And I think that's my primary message across my platform and everywhere I get a chance to educate women. Stop assuming that everything that is tied to your cycle is normal. When we're able to make that mental shift, when we're able to change that mindset, a lot of women will actually truly heal their bodies, because you would not wait for the cards to fall apart before you realize that, oh, this is what I'm dealing with. For example, you see somebody who doesn't have a regular monthly period. If you go for a check, you may find out that, oh, you're dealing with something like high prolactin levels or thyroid issues. But when you don't check that, and then one day you get married and you say, oh, yeah, now I'm ready to have a baby. At that point, you're already in a very anxious state. And so it's hard. Your body is naturally stressed, which is going to make it harder for you to even conceive. These are things you could have done at the right time. But if you're already married, if you're already in that phase where you want to try for a baby and your body is not showing up, it's fine, because there's still so much you can do. You can make lifestyle changes. Now, lifestyle changes cuts across how you eat, what you eat, because some of the foundational factors or some of the foundational causes of these imbalances has to do with our blood sugar levels, insulin resistance. So I'm not going to go into the science of how insulin works and how it works in our body, how our body produces or does not produce it. But what you need to know is that when you have high blood sugar level, it could ultimately affect your hormones in so many ways. So when we say alter how you eat, some people, for example, they don't have to be on the big side, for them to struggle with these hormonal issues. They are on the slim side, and to the best of their knowledge, it feels like, oh, but I don't eat that much. Oh, I don't take in that much sugar. And then other factors could be at play. For example, stress. Most times when we talk to women about hormonal imbalance, stress is something that we often overlook. We say, oh, I'm eating right. Oh, now I'm doing this. But are you sleeping enough? Are you resting enough? Or is your exercise routine too much? Your body could identify anything that feels a bit rigorous as stress. So you may start a new exercise routine and your body may pick it up as stress. And one thing I advise women with PCOS is you need to take it one step at a time. If the doctor tells you you need to lose weight to improve your PCOS symptoms, it doesn't mean the next day you go to the gym and break your body. No, you just need to start one step at a time. For exercise, you need to build capacity because there's a way you would do it and your body will pick it up as you going through a stressful phase. And then you are also causing the same harm on your hormones. So the first thing we spoke about is what you eat, your nutrition, lifestyle changes in general. Cut down on sugar, take in more healthy fats, organic seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds. There's this process we call the seed cycling process, where you get to incorporate so much seeds into your cycle at different phases of your cycle. And research has found it to actually be very helpful in helping women naturally reverse some of these imbalances. And then we'll talk about managing your stress levels. And then there's also room for you supplementing right. But like we always say, you can't supplement a bad lifestyle. And at the same time, you don't want to abuse supplements. So you always want to get medication prescription from authorized people. Don't take what your friend is taking because it sounds like both of you are dealing with the same thing. You may have the same symptoms, but different root causes. And that's one of the challenge I have with women, especially in Nigeria. We don't want to run tests. We don't want to find out what exactly is the problem. For example, I could have 3 women who are struggling with absent period, irregular periods, but 3 of them may be dealing with 3 different things. Someone may have high prolactin levels, and that is why her period is irregular. Someone else may have a thyroid disorder. Someone else may be dealing with high blood sugar, or the person is probably pre-diabetic. These are different issues that require different strategies, but it's presenting with the same symptoms. And so the fact that person A needs, for example, inositol to help with her symptom does not mean that person B needs inositol. So what I'm trying to say is we should also avoid just taking things because, oh, somebody else took it. You need to address the root cause of your particular issue. And let's not rule away the fact that for some cases, you may actually require surgery. For example, as in the case of endometriosis, adenomyosis, some of these cases may get a bit extreme and you may be required to surgically correct them. And so this is why just staying ignorant in your own space, it's so bad. We see a lot of cases where endometriosis, the polyps get to start growing on the fallopian tubes or on the womb, and then they have to take out the organ with everything. But it doesn't have to get to this stage if you pay attention to your body and take action. You may feel like, why should I go to the hospital because I have a period pain, or why should I contact a professional because my period is heavy? You need to do that because we need to know if there is more to it, and ultimately, how can we help you address this issue? So that's it.
Wow, 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 wow. You have loaded us with so much amazing information and really, really timely because you're very right about how women are actually made having painful periods, regular periods. Well, normal thing, a part of life,
Yeah.
and we don't realize that it's something that we really need to check into and early enough because understanding what's going on in your body on time really saves you a lot of stress, both
Exactly.
financial and emotional stress and all. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for giving us such detailed um, information about this. So I would like to finally ask you if you have any final words for women out there, and how does Savvy Health Place come in to also support women, to thrive through this, and also how can our guests reach you if probably they have noticed that we have some of these things that they deal with currently?
Okay, so the foundation of everything, like I said, and would always say is we need to stop assuming that every problem tied to the menstrual cycle is normal. We need to move our mindset and take more action with regards to that. And that is why we keep educating people. Like if you want to reach me, you can check out my platform on at Savvy Health on Instagram. And then you'll find out that we're constantly educating women on issues that they seem or they have come to think, oh, it's normal. We help them connect the dots and see that some of these things are not as normal as you assume them to be. And yes, if you are stuck and you feel like, okay, I'm in this phase, but I'm not sure how to proceed, I'm not sure what to do, it's fine. You can reach out at Savvy Health Place, or you can send an email at pharmacistessay@gmail.com. Pharmacist ESE at gmail.com. You could send an email if you want to discuss with a professional, if you want us to talk about what exactly you're going through, and if you want us to give you a roadmap on how to go about it. So basically what Savvy Health does, beyond educating women, for the clients that we take up on, because we also work with clients, for the clients that we take up on, we create a personalized plan to help you get from imbalance to balance using natural methods and mostly natural. So what happens is everybody is different. People's cases are different. So we often guide you, okay, what are the lab tests that we need to do? And then we help you with the interpretation. And then we tell you, okay, you need to do A, B, C in order to achieve X, Y, Z. So we make it so personalized on you. Our plans, our programs are very personalized because we realize that one size doesn't fit all on this journey, but even if you don't want to reach out personally, I urge you just go follow Savvy Health Place. There is so much to learn on that platform. There's always one new information dropping up. We are always taking the blinds off people's eyes. We talk about everything periods from puberty to menopause to perimenopause to premature ovarian failure to PCOS, hormonal imbalance. Basically, the issues that bothers women, but we don't want to talk about. You come to Savvy Health Place, go through the page, go through the platform, and I guarantee you will find something that will be beneficial to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time with you. It's been an awesome, enlightening time as well. And I'm definitely sure any woman listening to this now and is going through any irregular periods, painful periods, will definitely take it more seriously and pay attention to it. Thank you so much for being an amazing
Thank you for having me.
Have an amazing time.
You too. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you for joining us on this episode on Mother's Haven podcast. I believe you've had a life-changing and liberating experience. To connect with us or reach out for support, we got you. Kindly send us a DM on Instagram at Mother's Haven or on mothershaven.com. Also, kindly hit the subscribe button to catch every new episode of our validating and inspiring content. Do also leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.